riders or not. Today in the vlog I would like to talk about the fair. Specifically about the fare to ride a motorcycle. I know lots of riders who started riding in the early age, in a childhood, just like me, when you are fearless, when you're surrounded by parents or friends who's riding and everything looks fun and an adventure. You basically don't worry about most of the things in the world. But what if you are a little bit older? What if you are a little bit wiser? What if your head is full of all the articles in the magazines and all the stories, the scary stories non-riders say? What if you don't have anyone who's actually riding a motorcycle and who could tell you otherwise or convince you? What if you are a parent and have responsibilities and cannot let yourself to risk your life because you have to take care of your children? What if you just recovering from health anxiety disorder and just a little while ago been scared to live? That was me. And this episode is for those who's fear stopping from getting on the bike and having those amazing adventures, missing all those things that I'm sharing in my blog. I'm sharing with you to encourage you and help you to start riding, because guys, I just got emotional. Once I got through that, through the first stage, the reward of it.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow, we can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me.
Let's get started from where the fear comes from. Because when you are born, you are not scared to start riding a motorcycle. That is why everyone who starts at a very early age and keeps doing it, they have no fear. If we can learn to fear, we can learn to not fear too. And that's a fact. As soon as I started riding motorcycle, gradually I started doing more things I was scared about. Before I had an accident in the car, I wasn't driving, but it just developed a fear in me that I couldn't control and I was scared to drive a car. Of course I was still driving, but I was frightened to go to the places that I don't know, to go to the roads that I'm not familiar with, and I was scared to drive after riding motorcycle. I was driving from UK to Lithuania, and a year after I was riding on my Harley with my son on the back of a bike from UK to Lithuania. Furthermore, I won my biggest fear, a fear of heights. I jumped a second biggest bungee jump in the world. That was really frightening. So I do know what it is like to be scared, and I do know what it is like to be scared and do it anyway. It was my crazy brother's birthday present for me. He said, there is one fair you still have left, it's Fair Heights. And at that moment we actually were riding in Switzerland, and he said we will come back to Switzerland sometime very soon, because what I'm giving you is a bungee jump, which is James Bond jump, and there is a video about it. You can watch it and you can watch how frightened I was and how I hesitated and how I stepped back because I thought I can't do it. I was standing there thinking, no way I'm gonna do it. I'm even scared to stand on that step, let alone to jump of it. Are you crazy? But that moment I was thinking, I will never ever again make myself to come and stand on that step. Stand so close to winning my fair. And the only thing now that stops me is me. Is me in my head being scared. Nothing else. Everything else remains the same if I'll jump or I will not jump. The outside world not gonna change, but you and your world changes dramatically. And I did it. I did it for a reason, because I knew that if I will not jump the rest of my life, I will remember that moment how I lost to my fair. That moment how I was so close, but I didn't have enough courage. And I knew that if I will do that, the rest of my life I will feel the winner, and it will be something that I can come back to every single time I'm scared and think, go, you did that. And that courage that I built that day remains with me the rest of my life. Maybe before you start riding motorcycle, just write down all the fears that you have, all the things that frightens you, all the things that stops you from doing an amazing things. And I'm not talking just about the extreme things. I'm talking about other things that you start having courage in. Changing your job, starting a new career, calling that person that you like. Anything that requires courage. Once you have one win, you know you can do it and you keep living. Those of you who's watching the vlog, all those things that I experience here, and I'm so grateful for all those things, would never ever happen if I was still scared. I started riding motorcycle 4 years ago. Before that, the only experience I had, one of the guys took me on a sports bike without the helmet, going ridiculous speed just to show off. My eyes were watering and I hated it. I honestly didn't like it. And every time I saw a motorcycle passing by, I didn't want it to be a passenger. I wanted to ride it. And I wanted to do that all my life until I came to the point where it was now or never. And I realized that the only thing that stops me is actually a fear. It's actually all those talks and all those stories about the riders coming off, about the motorcycle crashes. As I mentioned, I had a health anxiety disorder, what means I was scared to die, from thinking that I have all the deadly illnesses in the world to being scared to drive, to ride, to fly, to do anything that is dangerous. I was scared so much that I was scared to live. And maybe that made me so much stronger, because overcoming that state when you are scared of everything and you gradually win over it step by step, I got to the point when I started pushing it and doing things that I was scared before the illness. And riding motorcycles was one of the things. I can't even explain how frightening it was. My instructor, even he taught me very well how to ride a motorcycle, wasn't helping at all, because he just continued telling those stories right into my ear while we riding. He was telling,
oh, you know that bridge passing, be careful here, because once we rode and I was just behind and the girl I was teaching, she crashed and broke her leg.
Imagine how much courage I needed to pass that bridge. And those stories was endless. From the very first time we went on the road and he said,
oh, don't think that I'm behind you will save you on the road from crash. You still can crash anyway.
It's like I don't know that and I'm not scared of that already. Now when I look back at that time and I think what actually helped me is, of course, first of all, my will. I wanted it so badly. So it depends a lot from how badly do you want it. But also I remember I was running and hearing a motorcycle coming and I was listening of how he changes gears, looking where before the turn he starts leaning and how he shifts up at that rev of the motorcycle, and I could imagine myself so well being that rider and riding just like that. I was watching my instructor easy and carelessly getting into the bends and maneuvering motorcycle seems so effortlessly, and I could imagine that with time it's gonna be me. I can do that. I can get to that point when I will be that good, and you can be. Just write down all the things that makes you want to ride motorcycle. Just write down your biggest dream, your biggest adventures you would do. Just imagine it every single day. Don't let yourself think about crashes. I don't watch TV, I don't watch news, I don't read magazines, and instead of choosing what I want to have in my hand, I fill up myself with all the positive information and positive things that makes me think of that best possible outcome. And so far most of my dreams came true. I met most amazing people. I had most amazing adventures. None of this would ever happen if I would stick to a negative information, to the horror stories, everything that pulls me back, instead of making a choice and imagining, dreaming how exactly I'm gonna do it. And now I have even bigger dreams. And I'm still scared every single time. I was scared to go first time on the track. I was so scared when I had to ride 1000 RR at Goodwood Festival of Speed. That was like off Harley to a superbike, to ride millions of people watching. You can't even imagine how scary it was. But could I miss that opportunity? I was so scared when the first time after passing my license I got on my brand new Harley Davidson Sportster. I remember so well, I left the house and at the first junction I had to stop and I had to deeply breathe for a good few minutes because my heart was pounding so badly. I could hear it. I could hear it in my ears, in my helmet, because it was so overwhelming and so scary. But instead of turning and going back home, I kept riding. And suddenly the joy and excitement and that feeling I did it overcome the fear. And it's with every single milestone and every single thing, as soon as you win over your fear, that excitement, that feeling of overcoming yourself, that makes you move forward and that makes changes in your life. Because you know what freedom is. It's no fair. Thank you for watching me once again. Do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe and leave the comment. Share it with someone who needs to see it and who needs the courage to start riding, who needs an inspiration, because that way you will help them and you will help this channel growing. Thank you once again and I'll see you next Sunday.